And we open with the title. In a big font, but not too big. There's a lot of words to fit in. As titles go, it's a little ambiguous. So I had this friend, Bobby Horn. Bobby had a little plumbing company, drove a little transit with a cartoon on the side. Bobby Horn. His slogan was, "You've got the horn." It didn't make sense, really, but he had it written on the van all the same, next to a little man in dungarees with an oversized head. You've got the horn. Bobby's sister ran this health food store on the corner of Hope Street, next to the coffee house where I used to go on my breaks when I worked in the insurance company. And I'm out of work again when Bobby says his sister needs someone to help. And I say, I'll do it. So I start a job in the health food sector. Just counter service. People say I'm pleasant to talk to, so I do okay. The only other guy who works in the store is this kid called Solly. He's kind of emaciated on account of his diet. He's giving up dairy and preservatives and, well, everything, really. He had an allergy test that told him he could eat minerals and amino acids, but almost nothing else. So Solly's allergic to most everything he liked. I see him on breaks now. Everything he eats is made up of either sesame seeds or bean sprouts, but molded into appealing shapes so he can pretend it's something else. It's not like he's the kind of guy to throw caution to the wind, though. I mean, he could have kept eating like he was. It wasn't going to kill him, at least not quickly. He wears this amulet around his neck to counter the radiation from mobile phones, to give you an idea. It works with magnets, just magnets, a series of magnets. He doesn't even own a mobile phone. It's the second-hand signals you've got to be careful of, he says. The waves are broader. I just nod like I'm interested. I made a mental note not to pick up my phone while he's around. I keep it on discreet. But I can't pretend I don't enjoy working there. There's worse ways to make minimum wage. And Solly's a nice guy. He's good to talk to, and I like to talk. I told him I thought my girlfriend was sleeping with some other guy. He told me the government's monitoring his brain patterns. We've got a lot in common. But, I don't know, working there, in retrospect, it seemed like a step back, or sideways at least. I started looking for a way out. And sure enough, an opportunity presented itself. So one afternoon, I'm talking to Jill, who works weekends and Thursday nights. We get on okay, but I get the impression if I saw her more frequently, I'd develop a dislike for her. And she's telling me about this juice we've got on sale. It's a fruit juice with kumquat or lychee or something. It sells pretty well. And she's telling me that the guy who started the company used to be homeless. No kidding. He used to live in the street. And one morning he's thinking, and it occurs to him that you can't get high-quality exotic juices in this country. Maybe you do abroad, but in the UK you just can't get it. So he decides there and then that he's going to start a company and manufacture the stuff. And he goes and does it. Now he's a millionaire. Or at least that's what she says. Maybe she made it up, maybe she didn't. But I work out, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find a niche, find a hole in the market, and fill it. Bobby's sister comes around every day or two to check everything's in order. I like her. She's kind of pretty in a thrift store kind of way. She breeds dogs with her boyfriend, dachshunds, little sausage dogs. The main problem with little dogs is the yapping. They yap, little yappy barks. Some people get their voice boxes removed, the dog's voice boxes taken out so they can't bark. But Bobby's sister thinks that's inhumane, which it is. I wouldn't want my voice box removed. So Bobby's sister just selects the quietest puppy in the litter and uses that one to breed the next lot. Now she's got hundreds of dogs. She wins prizes for them all the time. But it's weird. I can't explain it. You pass the kennels and all you hear is this low drone, almost so you wouldn't notice. A low drone like buzzing almost. It's like 1,000 puppies humming. Eerie. I don't go there anymore. So I'm working in the shop one day, me and Solly, and Bobby's sister brings in one of these creepy puppies, and it's a special one, the pick of the litter. Normally we wouldn't let animals on the premises, you understand, but she does own the store. She's got it on a little lead, introduces it as Rosie. We're supposed to say hello to it, which we did. That evening, I had another one of those weird dreams I've been having. Solly says it's dairy that's causing it. Anyway, I'd been working in this place for a couple of months or so, and I'd been putting a little away for a holiday or something. And I started seeing this girl, and I thought maybe we could go abroad for a little while. Never did, as it happened. She went off with that other guy. I won't bore you with the details. So I'm left with this money and no intention of holidaying on my own. I thought about taking Solly, but he developed this really severe rash and was too ashamed to leave the house. I'd drop him some food from time to time, and comic books. But he didn't show any signs of getting better. And in all honesty, I didn't really care. So by this point, I'm spending my days staring at shelves, examining the products, looking at what's there and looking at what isn't there. I'm trying to look between the shelves, imagining that maybe the shelves would slide apart and a new shelf would birth itself out from the hole. A whole new line of products of my design. But it doesn't come. And I begin to think maybe it never would. When I leave work, I'm still distracted. I get hit from the side by a goods lorry as I cross the street. A severed limb. A severed limb is a pretty weird thing when you see it up close. A severed limb that you recognize as your own is a pretty weird thing when you see it up close. The impact lifted me off my feet and threw me to the far side of the road. Unfortunately, I collided with a lamppost on the way to the pavement, tearing my right arm from my body just below the shoulder. And so I'm lying there, and I can hear people screaming, and I can hear movement, and I'm assuming people coming to see if I'm all right. Maybe I'm all right. I open my eyes and I see my arm a couple of meters from me in the middle of the road. I'm not all right then. I look at it. I look at the severed end, the bit we used to share, me and my arm. I look at it, and I'm struck by two things. The first thing that hits me is, boy, somebody better get that thing off the road sharpish. These aren't the safest streets in town, as I've just demonstrated. The second thing that hits me, and it hits me so strongly that all the pain rushes from my body and evaporates in an instant. The second thing that hits me is the idea that will make me a millionaire before my 29th birthday. I stopped eating meat when I started to work in the health food store. For convenience more than anything. I'm in the store all day, I get a discount. I'd be wasting my time to shop elsewhere. And to be honest, I can live without meat. But there was something that didn't sit right. A sense that I was missing out on something. Something more basic. And looking closely at the torn end of my arm, the bone pointing out from the little donut of red, I realized what it was. The best and most exhilarating thing about eating meat. Discovery. Let's go back to caveman times. In the days before breakfast cereals, the prehistoric equivalents to the toys at the bottom of the box were the bones of whatever animal you were eating. Once you open it up, once you tear off the flesh, you discover something you didn't know was there. A skull, a rib, a wishbone, a vertebrate, a little playset. And so there I was, on the side of the road, rediscovering that primal pleasure, looking at the special gift hidden inside my arm. And the shelves moved apart and birthed a whole new line of products. Products of my design. Vegetarian meat substitutes with skeletons. Tofu with wishbones. Tempeh barbecued ribs, minced quinoa drumsticks. Within 6 months, I had cornered the market in meat substitutes. Every health food store in Britain, America, and the continent was carrying my line. Our prices were affordable, our packaging was eye-catching, our advertising was everywhere. I went on talk shows relating the dramatic story of the genesis of my good fortune. I was interviewed for radio and newspapers. I co-edited an edition of Vegan Week with the ex-tramp juice guy. Everything was starting to go my way. I guess you've got to make a few sacrifices to get where you want to be.